Intelligence is not defined by the answers you give. It is defined by the questions you are brave enough to ask. Most people move through life accepting the surface of reality, but highly intelligent individuals possess a mind that is never satisfied with the obvious. They don't just want information, they want the mechanics behind it. Psychology shows that high IQ minds operate on a set of mental loops, automatic questions that trigger every time they encounter a new situation. These questions aren't just habits. They are the tools used to map, deconstruct, and rebuild their understanding of the world. Here are the 13 questions highly intelligent people ask most often without even realizing it. 1. Why does this happen? Causal reasoning. High IQ people rarely take things at face value. When an event occurs, they automatically look for the root cause rather than the surface effect. Psychologists call this causal reasoning. While others are satisfied knowing that something happened, the intelligent mind needs to know why. If a friend is upset, they don't just ask, "Are you okay?" They wonder, what was the trigger? Is this a reaction to a specific moment or a buildup of patterns? They view the world in layers, understanding that every action is merely the tip of an iceberg. 2. What if I tried it differently? Counterfactual thinking innovation is the natural byproduct of a mind that refuses to accept the status quo. Highly intelligent people constantly engage in counterfactual thinking, the ability to imagine alternative scenarios and outcomes. When they hit a wall, they don't blame luck. They ask, what is another approach that hasn't been considered? This allows them to find creative exits in situations where others feel trapped. They don't just solve problems. They reinvent the process of solving them. 3. What am I missing? Metacognition. One of the truest hallmarks of intelligence is the awareness of one's own ignorance. High IQ people know that their perspective is limited. They constantly question their own understanding through metacognition, or thinking about thinking. By asking, what am I missing? They actively look for gaps in their logic. They listen more than they speak because they are more interested in finding the missing piece of the puzzle than in being right. This humility prevents the overconfidence that leads to catastrophic errors. 4. How does this connect to something else? Systems thinking, highly intelligent individuals are natural pattern seekers. They don't see facts as isolated islands. They see them as parts of a vast, interconnected web. Psychologists call this systems thinking. When they learn about a historical event, they don't just memorize a date. They ask, how does this event link to current economic trends, cultural shifts, or human behavior? They synthesize information across multiple fields, allowing them to see a master map of reality that others miss entirely. 5. Is this the best explanation? Critical evaluation. High IQ people rarely accept the first answer they are given. They evaluate evidence, reasoning, and hidden assumptions with a sharp, critical eye. This critical thinking ensures they aren't easily manipulated by rhetoric or weak logic. Even in social settings, if a story feels off, they internally audit the explanation. They aren't being cynical, they are being accurate. They know that the most convenient explanation is rarely the most truthful one. 6. What can I learn from this? Reflective thinking. For the intelligent mind, every experience, especially failure, is a data point. They practice reflective thinking, turning life's friction into knowledge. When they face a challenge or a mistake, they don't descend into self-pity. They ask, what did this teach me about my own limits or the world's mechanics? This habit ensures that they never truly fail. They only iterate. 7. What's next? Perspective thinking. High IQ people are chronically forward-thinking. They rarely fixate on the present moment. Instead, they practice perspective thinking, predicting how current actions will ripple into the future. Even in small choices like picking a book or starting a project, they consider the long-term ROI. They aren't just living in the now, they are constantly preparing for the next. Why do people do what they do? Social cognition. Intelligence isn't just about math or logic. It's about social cognition. Highly intelligent people are fascinated by the human software. They look at a colleague's negative reaction and ask, what underlying fear or motive caused that? This allows them to navigate social minefields with wisdom instead of impulse. They build stronger relationships because they understand the why behind the what. 9. What's the bigger picture? Contextual zooming. While others get bogged down in the minutiae, the intelligent person has the ability to zoom out. They ask how a minor issue fits into the larger context of a project or a life. By seeing the bigger picture, they avoid wasting energy on insignificant details. They maintain a strategic advantage because they know which battles are worth fighting and which are merely noise. 10. Could there be a hidden pattern? Advanced recognition, where others see randomness, the high IQ mind sees a code. They look for recurring themes in data, behaviors, or global trends. This constant search for hidden patterns allows them to make decisions that feel instinctual to outsiders but are actually based on deep, unconscious observation. They see the ghost in the machine before anyone else notices the machine is even running. 11. What assumptions am I making? Bias reduction. They never take their own thoughts at face value. They ask, am I assuming too much? Is my conclusion based on facts or a pre-existing bias? This self-checking mechanism is the ultimate defense against error. It allows them to step outside their own ego and challenge their initial impressions, keeping their thinking sharp, reliable, and objective. 12. How does this affect me and others? Perspective taking. True intelligence involves perspective taking. They consider the emotional and social impact of their decisions. Before speaking or acting, they ask, will this motivate or demoralize those around me? This high level of social and emotional intelligence ensures that their brilliance doesn't become a source of alienation, but a tool for collective growth. 13. Could I learn something new from this? Curiosity-driven growth. Finally, they approach every experience with a beginner's mind. They ask, how can this make me better? Even a routine event or a simple disagreement is treated as a classroom. This hunger for knowledge ensures that their brain remains plastic, adaptable, and resilient. They are in a state of constant mental evolution. Final thoughts. High intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about the relentless pursuit of what you don't know. By asking these questions, why? What if? What am I missing? You aren't just processing information, you are translating existence. Do you find yourself asking these questions in the quiet moments of your day? Which of these feels like your default setting? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear how your mind works.